Yo, what is going on? You're checking out Kyujin HQ. My name is Chris and welcome back to the channel. Today we're checking out the Dustsilver KC84 Cyberpunk Edition. This keyboard here is super unique. This is definitely a futuristic looking board here, and I'm really digging the colorways. Now, Dustsilver was super kind enough to send one of these out for review today, so be sure to check them out over on Instagram and check their YouTube out as well. All links are in the video description. Now, just because they went ahead and sent this over though, please, you know this is not to deter my review whatsoever. I'm going to be brutally honest with this keyboard and tell you what I like and what I kind of don't like. But overall, so far, it is definitely an eye-catching keyboard. Let's go ahead and break this down right now and check out this brand new KC84 Cyberpunk Edition. Inside the box, you're greeted with a dust cover followed by the keyboard, which we'll check out here in a moment. Beneath the keyboard, you have your user manual. We have a double-sided keycap and switch puller. And finally, we have your USB-C cable here in purple to match the Cyberpunk theme. Getting this keyboard in hand, it is quite larger than I expected, and it has some decent weight to it. The entire keyboard comes in at 365 millimeters long by 136 millimeters wide and 41.5 millimeters high on the back end. And it comes in at a little bit more than 2.5 pounds in weight. So again, this is quite the large keyboard. Now, the case is entirely made of an ABS plastic, and over on the back side you have 4 rubber feet for grip, 2 legs with multiple height adjustment, which I like a lot. Now, these feet have some really good feel to them on this board. You actually need some decent force to shut these closed, so you shouldn't have any issues when moving the board while typing. Now, we also have some routing for your USB-C cable. Now, this is love or hate for me, as I love to be able to hide my cable when I need to, and I have the option to go left or right or just straight out from the back of the board. That's always really cool to see. But if you're someone like me who likes a coiled custom cable, you're going to have some difficulty as that USB port is more recessed into the case for that easier cable channeling. Now, this is obviously just a preference thing, but their stock purple cable will fit and work just fine, and you could route it very easily through the back of this board. The deep purple case has a nice matte finish to it, while the side rails have a red shine to them. Now, these rails on the side actually slide on and off of the keyboard. This is actually pretty clever because this allows you to access the internals of the board itself. Once you slide these rails off, you'll notice that the keyboard is basically sandwiched together, and you can just pop this keyboard open without the need of dealing with any small screws. It just makes for an easier cleanup and faster access to the internals of this board if you plan on doing any modding. Now, I actually really dig this. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and open this up right now, but this keyboard does have a layer of foam inside, which should also help with acoustics while typing. The top right, you have a little Dustsilver logo lid. Now, you can pop this on and off, and this would make more sense if I had the wireless keyboard, as this is where you're going to probably find your wireless button and your receiver. This is where it would probably be hidden away. But unfortunately, I only have the wired version to show you guys today. Now, beneath that, we have a small light indicator. This is just going to shine some RGB because, again, I only have the wired version. The bottom of the case, facing the user, you have an LED bar that shines the RGB out from the case itself. Now, the RGB on this keyboard is decently vibrant. You could also change the RGB color, the speed as well, and obviously the modes. But here's the best part. You could change the actual center of the board, or the case of the board has its own addressable RGB, which is always nice to see. So you have multiple options when it comes to different color preferences. Now, you have all of your basic RGB functions on this keyboard, and you could definitely find them in the included user manual, or you could take it a step further and download the Dustsilver driver, where you can not only change your RGB controls, but you have more customization as you can create multiple keyboard layers, and obviously you have macro control. So this being a cyberpunk themed keyboard, the keycaps really have to sell it, and I think they did just that. This theme is clearly yelling cyberpunk. We have a very large font on this keyboard with no shine through legends, and the font is that cyber themed for sure. It's looking super futuristic, and the keycap color choices I think are absolutely beautiful. We have the deep purple with the red accents in the middle, mixed with the cyan blue caps that have more accents on the outside of the keycaps. And the spacebar really sells the theme, as it really helps tie in and blend the entire board together. Now, you have the cybernetics running all over this board. We have a 75% keyboard layout with 84 keys in total, and the keycaps are going to hold this cyberpunk theme for a very long time, as these keycaps are a PBT dye sublimated, so no shining of these keycaps with heavy usage. Now, this keyboard is also hotswap. So if you have some specific switches in mind, you're all good to go. But if not, they do offer a few Gatoron switches at checkout, and today I paired mine with the Gatoron black switches. Overall, the typing on this keyboard was very satisfying. I personally preferred the medium height adjustment, and for the stock stabilizers, they sounded okay. Honestly, a 75% keyboard layout is the safest bet, as it's just a sweet spot when it comes to everyday use, and I feel a lot of you out there would tend to agree with me. At the end of the day, I think they nailed it for a cyberpunk theme. It really does look like a futuristic keyboard. The colors are very attractive on this. Now, the legends are a bit larger than I'd like to see, but it really seems to flow well with this keyboard overall. I'd honestly also love to see either someone out there do a personal modification, or maybe even Dustsilver themselves create a battle damage cyberpunk version of this keyboard. Now, I was a huge fan of the Cyberpunk limited Xbox controller, and I love the battle damage on this controller overall. I think it was just done perfectly. I would really love to see that done on this keyboard. I could not stress that enough. I think it would be super cool, but hey, that's just me. Now, this keyboard is compatible with Windows and Mac OS if you were curious out there, and if you do like this keyboard and plan on picking one up, you could save 7% off of your purchase with coupon code CUJINHQ at checkout, and that coupon works site-wide, and like always, you can find all links in the video description. So overall, when it comes to the KC84, I think it's a really cool looking keyboard for sure. But honestly, the wired version, I would definitely skip out on, and I would definitely opt for the wireless version, because when it comes to the price point, it's not that big of a difference. Plus, I do have that 7% off coupon, and I just like to have more options, but that's just me personally. But when it comes to just having the wired version, you know, some things just don't make much sense, like the Dustsilver logo here pops off and pops back on, but there's nothing beneath that. That's probably where your wireless button would be and receiver, and unfortunately, since it's wired, there's no point in having that, so you just kind of have like a flat area here. So this even coming off on the wired version doesn't make, you know, much sense to me. I do love the actual rail system on here. This way you don't have to deal with any weird screws, and it's just very easy to access the internals of this pretty quickly. And I did reach out to a representative over at Dustsilver, and they said that they do plan on selling replacement rails in different colors, which I think is awesome. If they're priced correctly, you can then just get an extra level of customization to your keyboard, and I think that's really, really cool of them. They have a lot of other awesome colorways out available as well, but personally, the Cyberpunk is really, really just unique, and I would love, again, to see a battle damage version of this. I might just do that myself and make that a little future project here. That'd be pretty cool. But I want to know what you guys think of this keyboard, and how many of you guys out there maybe are going to pick one of these up. Which one would you go for? And let me know. So if you guys are new here, please consider subscribing. Maybe share the video with a friend. Give it a huge thumbs up if you liked it. And that's it for me. Most importantly, you guys stay safe out there. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.